cross addiction or transitional addiction is very, very common.
Yes.
People are going to go through it. It's not a matter of if, but when. If they ever get in sobriety, or even people who are in active addiction are going to have these manic type behaviors where they go from one area of interest to another one, and they don't just go and visit, they go all in.
Go hard.
They become citizens, like full-blown citizens of whatever, if it's fitness land or collector land, and sometimes some of the worst ones, it's like you're going to go really hard in the internet or pornography or whatever it is that someone finds relief in. Welcome back.
Thank you.
To another episode of Till the Wheels Fall Off. I'm Matt.
I'm Paige.
We're going to ask a quick favor of you. If you haven't already liked or followed the show and written us a review, please take a moment to do that. It helps more people discover the show. Just like you were in need whenever you stumbled across this, however you found it, others are going to be able to get that same experience, but only if we're more visible. And that means likes, reviews, follows, subscriptions, you name it. On YouTube as well. If you don't follow us, even if you don't watch YouTube, just go in there and just subscribe to it. More visibility. It's great for us. It's great for you. It's great for anyone else that needs this and just doesn't know it exists. And it's a wonderful way to pay it forward if you've ever gotten anything from us.
Yes.
Next thing, hey, we've got a newsletter. I don't know if you're aware. Go to our website, twfo.com, scroll all the way to the bottom. Enter your email address and you will get a newsletter every Monday morning, bright and early, so you can read it over coffee. It's usually got something pretty quick, although this week's I think was a bit longer. It just kept going.
I didn't read it.
Dang.
Oh, that's
okay.
not. It's because I haven't had time to. But
I
that's
don't
not
mind.
So Matt does the newsletters.
Well, I hope someone else did.
They did.
Okay, cool.
No, I know it's a great topic. It's really good. It has nothing to do with your writing ability or the skills that you have. I promise you that. It said I was super swamped today with kid stuff and life and
That's right. We had back to school,
Yes.
and you might be in that same boat.
Back on routine.
Which is great. It does provide some routine.
I know you're reading this and you're trying to go through this like you usually do, but we also offer guidance calls.
We do.
And I kind of closed them off a little bit throughout the summer because it's been very hectic with children, but we reopened them and we have them on Mondays and Tuesdays right now. So you can head to our website if you want to have a chat with us.
Yeah. Many more time slots available than there were over the last 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
So if you're ever interested in spending time with us and asking questions, you can do that. Also, we've got a community where you can kind of do that, just not as personal.
Yeah.
But you're there with 3,000 other wheelies that listen to the show. You can find that by going to our website, twfo.com, clicking on the link that says community at the top of the page. It'll take you straight there. And on Sunday nights,
Yes.
It's just Sunday, right?
Yes.
At 8 p.m. Central Time,
Yes.
US, Paige and I go live.
Yeah.
Sometimes just really quick, 15 minutes. Every so often we'll take questions. Just kind of depends on our mood and what's going on around the house.
Yes.
We've got a course. Independently Strong is still out there. Go to independentlystrong.com or you can go to our website, twfo.com, to find out more about our course. It is a path of healing for spouses and partners. Addiction recovery, it's rather complex, but it's actually simple because you need to recover from an addiction. But what about spouses and partners? What are you actually recovering from? For many people, they feel like they've lost themselves and they don't know where to start. Who am I? What are my interests? I've been focusing on someone else for so long. How do I do this? How do I separate addiction from behaviors? Am I codependent? Is that even a real thing? What is enabling versus helping? We answer all these questions in the course, and you also get access to an exclusive community within that meets on Wednesday evenings, and you will get yours truly, Paige, here.
Yay!
Leading those calls. She is part of these. You can ask questions. You can process with other people that are really going through it. And we find that the people that are doing Independently Strong are those who are making the most progress in their journey.
Yes. And it's not just within your relationship. Like they are making progress in life. It is amazing to witness.
Which is the goal. We're not just focusing on the relationship.
Right.
We're focusing
You're
on
going to learn a
again.
lot more from the course than just the complex situation, that you're in right now.
Yep. And hey, if you're a fan of the show and you want to rep Tufo merch, we've got it on our website as well. We've got hats, shirts, we've got recovery rocks. We've also got stickers up there. And if you're not aware of what a recovery rock is, I'm holding one right now. It is a token of appreciation. If you are someone that listens and you've struggled with addiction and you know that you've put your family through it, This is a really great way to acknowledge the path of a spouse as they've walked through this and they have been selfless in so many ways. On the back, it says, "Thank you for being my rock." On the front, it's got our logo. It's a really cool way to show some appreciation.
Yep.
And what's that last one say? Oh, Pages Perspective. Every Friday, Pages has new episodes, 10 to 15 minute long. They're just really, really good, motivational, inspirational episodes. She discusses something that she's learned how to navigate in life because of this journey that we've been on.
Yes.
And they're really, really helpful. You don't even have to be in a relationship with someone who's struggling with addiction to understand that those things are just helpful
and they're
messages.
usually like between 10 to 20 minutes, not super long, and they'll give you a little extra pep in your step for your Friday morning commutes.
Yep. This week, we are discussing transitional addictions.
I'm not sure if that's really what it's called.
Transitional addictions, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. If you were it's addiction substitution is another word, I guess another phrase you could use.
Yeah.
Switching addictions.
Yes.
It's another one.
Uh-huh.
People are familiar with this, so walk us through it, Paige.
Right. I've seen this mentioned a lot in our community about how their partners are not only addicted to a substance. Whenever they remove the substance, they may become addicted to something else, or they may, it could be something healthier, something not as healthy. It could be a different drug. It could be anything, you name it. And this is something that I have experience with Matt, and I've recognized it we've been together for over 23 years. And I've always thought that he had this personality of like just this addict personality where he would hyper focus on one thing and he would just have to have it and he would go balls to the wall within it. And it was crazy to me. I was like, what is going on? And I got to a point where I was kind of accepting of it, in a way, because I was like, this is just Matt. This is who he is. But since you've been recovering for over 11 years now, I have recognized the layers of it unraveling. I've recognized the things that you have gone hard on and the way that I don't think that's really you. I think it was just part of the dynamics of being an addict.
Yeah.
I think it's just something that's within you that you coped with this certain ways, almost like a dopamine kick, right? Because you got like this, you got excited every time you got into something super hardcore. But the problem, there's problems that go along with this.
There are. And so you're probably listening to this, nodding your head going, yep, I know someone just like that. So we're going to talk about what are some of the underlying causes of this? What are some of the reasons? What are some of the different types of transitional addictions? Is this normal? Is it not? Is there ever an end to this madness? And much, much more. So let's get into transitional addiction. Like definitionally, what is it?
So it's the phenomenon where an individual who is recovering from one addiction develops a new addiction or compulsive behavior. Mm-hmm. So it can happen whenever the original addiction is treated, but the underlying issues that drive the addictive behavior, like pain, emotional pain, stress, or unresolved trauma, they're not fully addressed. And, that's going to take a long time to address those things. So you can understand why this comes apart in layers. And the person may shift their focus from their original addiction to something completely different, or another substance, or another behavior as a way to cope with these unresolved issues.
Yeah, it's a great way to sum it up too. And it sort of packages it really nicely. It is whatever this hole is that lives inside of my chest has to be filled with something, right? And I want to open up this conversation by saying, to me personally, solid, liquid, gas, or action, addiction's all the same.
Yes.
And it's rather interesting because a lot of people, when they think about addicts and the way our brains are in addiction, a lot of people think that's substance related. But what's rather interesting is if you look at brain scans of people, pornography or gambling addiction, it's the same. It's the same.
It's the same. I'm sure with phone addiction as well.
Yeah. Addiction is addiction.
Yeah.
So I just want people to know that, like preface all this by saying, it doesn't matter what the substance or the action, this is essentially all the same thing.
Well, this is why this is part of the reason why we are so big on focusing on behaviors and not the substance.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come out in other ways too. Even though you remove the substance, there's going to be something else that pops up.
Yeah. And we're never going to let go of that.
No, we're
Focus on the behavior, not the substance.
Yep.
It's about the behaviors. The behaviors are what are important. The behaviors are what are ultimately going to be there even in the absence of a substance. Those are the things that are going to affect you the most. So you can hide all the alcohol you want. It doesn't matter. The behaviors will be there.
Yeah.
We're not instantly cured just because you remove the substance from us. There's so much more going on there.
Right. That's why you have to deal with the underlying issues, which we have discussed so many times in the podcast.
And so underlying causes, just briefly. addiction underlying causes, right? It's very individual. Yeah. Everyone's going to have a different story about how they got there. But for the most part, you can say that psychological trauma of some kind, if you've been through something really heavy at some point in your life, and most people have, right? Trauma is maybe a heavy word for some people, but you've been through something at some point, you've never really dealt with it. This could have even been your parents splitting up, right? You don't have to be in Iraq or Afghanistan for 2 or 3 tours to have some sort of trauma. It's very different for everybody.
Yes.
Okay. It can be anxiety. It can be depression. It can be any kind of mental health issue, some kind of disorder.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to be fixed in 30 days. All these things don't get corrected in 30 days. Treatment is nothing more than an introduction. It's like, hey, let's get you out of your environment. Just like our course. It's oh my God, it's social learning theory.
Yes.
So we know that the environment plays a huge role and it's a major factor in your behaviors and the things that you do and don't do. Your environment influences you massively. So that's the goal of treatment. Let's get them away from that environment for a bit so we can separate them from the substance, not just the substance, but the people and the places and all the things that you interact with that are environmental triggers, if you will. And let's get these people as well as you can in 30 days. But what happens oftentimes whenever you remove someone, when you remove this substance or you remove this thing or this behavior, whatever it is, what you'll find is that something else fills its hole. It's like playing whack-a-mole. You remember you look at me like I'm crazy. You remember whack-a-mole?
You always say whack-a-mole. You bring it up all the time. And is that where you hit the head thing on the...
Those are moles. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like they have different characters at each place. There are different places you go to.
When I was a kid at Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. At Chuck E. Cheese, it was whack-a-mole.
I didn't go there very often.
You get that big padded mallet and you bash the head of the mole.
Okay.
So that's whack-a-mole. As soon as one disappears, another one pops up. And that's how this sort of works.
Right.
So something else is you're going to find a way to draw attention to something else that's going to provide that pleasure, that release, to fill that hole, to treat those underlying things that we haven't really dealt with.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to provide some sense of numbing or just escaping reality rather than dealing with stress.
Yeah.
It's an escape of some kind.
Right. And instead of actually understanding how to, you have to learn new coping mechanisms, right? That's really what it all basically boils down to, right? And if you're not learning those new coping mechanisms, you're going to try to cope with the things that you coped with before, but it's going to be not necessarily drugs. It'll be something else.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. There will be something that fills that hole. It's another way to cope. Remember, drugs, alcohol, behaviors that are addictive. These things are symptoms.
Yes.
Not necessarily causes.
Right.
They're symptoms most of the time of something else that's going on. It's a coping mechanism. It is just for coping.
So this is just kind of my opinion being thrown out there, is that I feel like just detoxing is not going to really address any of these problems, right?
I want to say it, but I don't want to. I'm going to say it because this is just how I feel. I feel that detox centers are the greatest cash grab in the medical industry. I think that is, in my opinion, the single worst dollar you can spend.
Right.
Because I have never in 11 plus years seen someone go to detox and then achieve any sort of long-term recovery.
Okay.
Ever. Not one time.
Right. It's just a Band-Aid.
You're going there to usually get physically well. So they're going to rapid detox you and they'll charge you 10, 15 grand for it.
There's so much more to it than that.
And some places are pretty good about providing you information.
Okay.
But a lot of other places, it's they treat you hard you in there like cattle.
Yeah.
You're in, now you're out.
That's
See you
crazy.
later. They don't leave you with many tools. There's no aftercare. I shouldn't speak in generalities because I'm sure there's some very good ones out there. But in my experience, that is the worst dollar you can spend in recovery.
Yeah.
Is detox.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're doing.
I wanted to bring that up because I think that is a very, because you and I, we have opinions on these
Just
things.
my opinion, y'all.
And that's how I feel as well.
Me.
And since we know what recovery really looks like and what it means, if someone is telling you I'm just going to go to detox, there's so much more that goes into that. Recovery is so much more than that. So do you want to talk about the types of transitional addictions? Yeah.
There's, like I said, solid, liquid, gas, or behavior. There's many ways that you can go from one thing to another.
So some may go from one substance to another. So if you're addicted to alcohol, you may stop drinking, but then you can go to prescription drugs.
That's a really popular method.
Yes, it is. Yes. And we get the question all the time in the community about that, and of course people like it depends on your situation sometimes or whatnot, but the reality is, like you said, a gas and a liquid, all of these are all the same, that it will affect you pretty much the same if you keep continuing doing them.
To quote a good friend of mine, he said, I like anything that makes me feel good and do bad shit.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. He was amazing. Died sober at like 12 years. But and that was so true because, and we were talking about this one evening after one of our meetings, and he's like, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. So I was convinced that I just needed to quit drinking. So he quit drinking, and then he found white collar drugs, like prescription drugs. Mm-hmm. So Valium, Xanax, hydrocodone, oxycodone, any number of those things.
Sounds like a party for you back in the day.
Oh yeah, man. That was that's a good party. Yeah, for sure. But going one substance, like white collar path, some other people are on really hard drugs. And so they kind of go backwards on this. They'll be like, heroin or fentanyl or cocaine or any of the harder stuff, crack. And they'll go back to things like alcohol.
Okay. And then weed.
Marijuana is like the most common substance to substance. It's kind of baseline because marijuana, listen, is it less dangerous than fentanyl? Yes, very much so.
Right.
Much less dangerous.
Right. But again, behaviors.
But the behavior is still that you're never going to cope. And so a real McCoy addict is unlikely to really get what I got or what I've seen people get that I would consider like, that's a life that I want.
Right.
When you're just stoned all the time.
Yeah.
And like another problem with that is that, and we've all heard like marijuana is a gateway drug, especially when we were kids, right? Like it leads to other things. With an addict, that is a very slippery slope. And I think, I don't have data to support this, but I believe it's more likely when you're an addict. As soon as you make it okay in your head that you're going to still get fucked up in some way, you're going to find
anything.
At some point, you're like, well, I can manage this. I bet you I can manage some Xanax.
Yeah.
Or something,
right.
or a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're going to go from one substance to another substance. Something it's more popular now than it was back when I was going through this was like hallucinogens. So, mescaline or mushrooms or LSD. LSD is more popular now than I feel like it's ever been, probably.
Did
maybe
you
not
take
in the
LSD?
60. So I chickened out. So I bought it and I bought it from a guy and he said, I said, I want you to take it first. And so he did. I didn't hear from him for like a week. Well, like 4 days he was up tripping balls.
Oh my God.
And did not sleep, but he told me how great it was. And I was like, I just can't commit to 3 days or 4 days or whatever it was. And so it's lysergic acid diethylamide. Is it LSD? Lysergic acid diethylamide? Diethylamide, I think is what it is.
You're singing a song.
Yeah, that's a Travis Scott song.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's like a liquid. And so he dropped it on these sweet tarts. And so I had these sweet tarts in the top of the closet for like years. And I would open it up sometimes and be like, is today the day?
No way.
No, I'm not going to do it. Just because we had too much shit going on. Like
when was this? Did we have a child yet? Or was this college?
2007, 2008, 2009-ish.
Okay. So we weren't in Dallas. We were in Denton area.
College. Yeah, I was in college. But a lot of people are using hallucinogens now. It's like a very, very common path because they're more accepted. And especially in the mental health community, there's very interesting studies on what these things can do for depression.
Is it like the microdosing thing?
Yeah, anxiety and things like that. So it's becoming more accepted, and addicts are really good at medicinalizing anything, really. So they're going to medicinalize. That's not even a word, I don't think, but they're going.
We're going to make it one.
Yeah, we're making it one. They'll take it.
Which is kind of
like,
when,
this is beneficial in some way. And then before you know it, like you're tripping shrooms, 3-4 times a week. And then before you know it, you're drinking a little alcohol because you're like the whole process of being an addict, like especially when you start to get involved in heavy drugs, is that the drugs become a way to treat the symptoms of the other drugs you're taking. Mm-hmm. So I would take a lot of opiates. Every single morning on the way to work, I would take 10 pills, 10 hydrocodones. So it's 100 milligrams of hydrocodone.
It makes me just want to pass out and vomit
and
right now.
You've seen opiate addicts, they start nodding off.
Yes.
But so to prevent that, I would take 30 to 60 milligrams of Adderall about the time it started to kick in and I started to get really heavy. So then I would come back up.
Speedballing, right?
Right. And then I would take more opiates when I got too high for that. And then I get too low, I'd take more amphetamine. And then at the end of the day, I would be so wired and messed off. I would smoke and drink. So, but each of those was like, it was one way to alleviate the uncomfortable symptoms of the other.
So wild.
We're street pharmacists, man. That's what we do.
You were so good at that stuff. Like, you knew all the things. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. But I wanted to kind of say how you said that you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if a doctor tells an alcoholic, they don't really recognize that they're an alcoholic, but they'll say, a glass of red wine is okay every night or occasionally. What is that alcoholic going to go do?
Oh, I knew a guy.
Yeah.
Who was like all about this.
Oh, yeah.
Hammered drunk. They didn't say 2 bottles a night.
Right.
Dude.
Exactly.
Even then, studies on wine and alcohol in general, these things are changing.
Yes, they
so
are.
I love some of these
crazy.
These anti-lobbying efforts that have been made to really get the truth and the science out about
what
alcohol.
It's doing to your body.
Like, I think Canada just changed their regulations or their suggestions on like alcohol intake, and I think it's 2 drinks a week now.
That's
is what they recommend.
Crazy. It used to be 2 drinks a day.
But I think that people had to even fight to get that in there because the science says that no amount of alcohol is good for you. It's just not good for you. It's literally poison.
Right.
It's poison, man.
Right.
Like being drunk is just, you're poisoned. That's what being drunk is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so
Okay.
red wine, any of that stuff, they'll take a mile.
So that was substance to substance. Another
Substance is very, very, everyone's been through this, I think.
Right.
If you have an addict in your life, right?
Yeah. So, but we're going to dig deeper because there's substance to behavior too. And that might involve shifting from substance abuse to like behavioral addiction, which is what you were talking about earlier, like gambling or shopping, sometimes eating disorders and excessive exercise.
Pornography and sex should be on this list.
Yes,
too.
I agree. Yeah.
Pornography addiction is like the new frontier of very harmful addictions that are ripping apart families.
Yeah.
I see this all the time.
All the time.
We get emails about it. We don't have experience in this, but I want to get someone on board who does and who knows more about this than I do, because I speak from my experience here. Paige, you speak from your experience here.
Yeah.
We just frankly don't have a lot of experience when it comes to sex addiction or porn addiction, but does the same thing to the brain. And a lot of people, when they're like, there's this is going to be kind of crude, cover your ears if you really don't want to hear it, but there's like this old running joke in rehab centers with men anyway. It's like the amount of masturbation that takes place in treatment centers is insane.
Really?
Because you're just trying to feel something. Like, I need something.
Yeah.
I need to change the way I feel in some way. And so a lot of people reach for sex and orgasm, and that's what it gives them. So there's not uncommon at all for people. Unless, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that because I've seen people in relationships do this, but especially the single guys. Yeah, they're out there just running through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
wow. That's interesting. I don't think you've ever told me that before.
Oh, it's very common. Like, there's memes,
it makes
there's
sense.
memes about it.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. It's just not something that I like really look into.
Yeah, but gambling is another one. And
yeah.
Gambling's becoming more and more popular
Yes,
and more and more legalized in many places. And so it's easier. You can just get on your phone and gamble. Like, teenage gambling is an issue now. Like, college campuses, everyone gambles. I went to the All-Star game with our son and sat next to this kid who couldn't have been 19. And he was walking me through all of his bets that night and these parlays and spreads. And like, I'm not a gambler, but he knew more about gambling than like my dad does.
That's crazy.
And he's like in his 60s.
Yeah. And he's a gambler.
Knows shit about gambling, right? But it's addictive. You win, it feels good.
That's one thing that you didn't really ever get. I mean, you had your moments of gambling back in the day where you enjoyed it, but you never really went hard on it.
I just like being drunk in a casino.
Right. I think you liked
gambling.
the vibes and like and it was fun to win, but we never got really, really into it. And we love Vegas. Even sober Matt loves Vegas.
The food is the best part about Vegas.
We love it.
Let's be real, man.
Yeah. Okay, so the next type of transitional addiction is going to be behavior to behavior. So if someone has, like, if they are addicted to gambling, they could move to the internet addiction,
like TikTok,
or excessive exercise, to compulsive workaholism.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have to say that this happens probably a lot. I'm just going to pull this number out of my butt, but it probably happens like with 90% of people in recovery. Something, right? Like, you're going to get into something.
I would say it's 100%.
Okay. So I wasn't too far off.
Everyone's going to find something, right?
Yeah.
And we're encouraged in a lot of ways. Like, listen, you've got a lot of time to fill. You got to find something. And we don't know how to do anything half-ass. So we're going to whole-ass whatever it is that we pick up. So some people pick up hobbies.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're really good. Like the guy that walked me through the process picked up woodworking. and really, really got into it. I mean, he bought like all the machines and the equipment and all these fancy woods, and he was really in it. But the art that he's made is gorgeous. I mean, he's even started a company now because of it.
Yeah.
He's done an amazing job. But yeah, we're going to go whole ass in whatever it is. It's
so
something.
That's why I think it's great that whenever you do get sober and you do recovery and you go through the years of learning these different coping mechanisms and you're able to really put your addiction, your issues with addiction to use, to something that's positive, something that's good, that's going to be put it out into the world. But it takes time to get there, because sometimes you can go too hard and it still affects other people, and it still can be selfish, and it can still hurt people financially. You know, that's why it's not just the substance, it's the behaviors.
I like to think of addiction as a set of, call them superpowers. I know that sounds crazy, but just stick with me for a second. It's almost like a superpower, because you have this ability to grind and to hustle and to get creative and resourceful like very few people have in the world. Mm-hmm. We just use it in the wrong way, right? That the same power that got you into this mess that you're in is the very same power that's going to get you out of it and make you an incredibly amazing person on the other side of it. And I tell everyone that when they're getting sober, I'm like, I talked to a guy today, like, you should be excited right now. Like, I don't know why you're so down. Like, you have no clue how amazing your life's going to look. Can you imagine if you put even half the energy you did into hiding your addiction as you did into something beneficial?
Yeah.
Like anything, you name it. It could be a hobby you pick up. It could be some just endeavor that you want to start, business, or God knows what, right? In your family and in your community, in your church, or whatever it is that you want to get involved in. You're going to be amazing at it, because you know grind like very few people know grind.
Exactly.
It's a superpower in that sense.
This is a newsletter that you need to write.
This is my next newsletter.
We really did. We discussed this the other day. We had a really good conversation.
There's a movie called Wild, and it's about a woman. It's oh my gosh, she's an amazing actress.
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, yes, I love her. She's in it, and she's a woman who's gone through a ton, and at some point she just snaps. And she becomes a heroin addict. She's sleeping around with random men, just off the rails. And she loses herself. And it's a story about finding yourself again. And they read this poem. It'll be in the newsletter, but just wait. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. I'm tearing up watching this, and I paused the movie because they recited the poem in the movie, and I paused it. I had to go read it. I went on like a 30-minute tangent, but that was the same theme,
right?
Is that same power that you use to destroy yourself is it comes from the same source as the power that you use to get on the other side. Which
we do the same thing. And I try to encourage people of all that energy and that power that you're putting into the person that, you know, you're trying to save or help or whatnot, put it into yourself, into other things.
Yeah.
And that power can be, you're not wrong and you're not a bad person for what you're trying to do. But if you put it towards something else, imagine what you can accomplish.
Yeah. The thing I hate hearing most from spouses and addicts alike is that they're weak people. Far from it.
Nope.
Far from it. You have no clue how much energy and how much effort you have to exert to keep a freaking marriage or a household together with someone who's in addiction.
Yeah.
And how strong you are.
So damn strong.
And likewise, addicts, in order to keep it together, putting all that shit in your body on any given day, being completely broke and having to find money. Listen, this is the dark side of it. I'm not condoning this, but we'll do anything in order to get that. Like that's a power. Let's just say it's a power, not good, not bad. It's a power.
It's a power.
And that same source of that power is what's going to get you to the other side. So we're going to encourage you. Like that's what Independently Strong is really about.
Yes.
So let's take that power and let's apply it over here.
Yes.
And let's see what can happen. And what happens is you become a person like you could only read about, or dream about.
Yeah.
You never imagine you could be this amazing or be this dedicated or be this driven and just well-rounded.
Yeah.
You know, that's the same power. It's an
so
amazing thing when people really understand it and they start to apply it.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. It's great.
I mean, we think that you're good at logistics because of the shit that you dealt with.
It's true. I completely agree with that. Like someone will call me with an emergency at work. So I work in logistics. I've mentioned this before. It's awful, but my job is to essentially solve people's problems. So they'll call me and they'll be like, hey, there's a factory that's out of commission in New York because they're missing this part or this truckload of material, and we've got to get it there. And it'll be like 9 p.m., like Christmas Eve, and someone will call me. I'm like, give me 5 minutes and I'll make 20 phone calls. I'll get creative. I'll start to think, well, who's got an extra? I'll call a guy. Well, I've got a truck, but I don't have a trailer. And I'll find a guy with a trailer and I'll link them together. And like, we make stuff like that happen every single day.
Yeah.
But I really do believe it came from being an addict.
Yeah.
That I was able to be so useful in that industry.
It's incredible. All right, let's get back to the topic.
Okay, sorry.
So there's the mechanisms of a transition. So there's a substitution effect, which is when you may consciously or unconsciously substitute one addiction for another. And you might believe that the new behavior is less harmful or more socially acceptable.
Yep.
It's kind of like what you were talking about earlier when somebody
Hard drugs to alcohol,
alcohol
to
the weed, all that, right? But the new behavior, it can serve the same psychological function and lead to similar negative consequences.
Yes, it can.
Yes.
Yes, it absolutely can.
Right.
Like you might not. Okay, so I get sober, right? And I'm sober. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not drinking. Things are getting a little better at home. And then I get really just on a tangent one day and I get really into baseball cards or comic books or something like that. Some kind of collector's item.
Yeah.
And I love the way that it feels when I get these things and like having it and knowing that no one else has it and there's like this prestige of it all. And then before you know it, you're spending money
you don't
do
have.
not have.
It's like spending money on drugs.
I did this with sneakers.
Yes,
that
you
was
did.
mine. Personal story here. I got into sneakers. I always thought
I was
sneakers
going to go down that later, but let's go through it now.
Oh, we'll wait.
Okay.
We'll wait.
Because I want to show the
Stick
timeline.
around for my sneaker addiction.
Yeah. And then there's cross addiction, which is when you're predisposed for addictive behaviors. And when you overcome one addiction, you find themselves vulnerable to developing another, which is basically what we're talking about now.
Cross addiction is so very common.
Yes.
So very common.
Yeah.
Like most people, like there are garden variety alcoholics out there, and I know some too, and they don't think that we're alike, but I'm like, no, we are, because whenever we get sober, we're both going to do something stupid. You're going to collect some random bullshit or get into gardening or like figure out how to make your yard look like a golf course and spend 6 hours a day out there with it, talking to your grass. Like people do. I know guys, this is personal stories. I know people that do this shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Like cross addiction in some way pops up.
So I found this to be interesting when it comes to like relapse, because if you start a new addictive behavior, it can increase the risk of relapse into the original addiction and the original substance, because this new addiction might trigger the same pathways in your brain that's going to lead to similar environments and social circles.
Yes. There is a spot in my brain that needs to be scratched. Okay. And that spot, when I scratch it, usually means putting a substance in my body. When I can scratch it in various ways. If I'm not self-aware of that and I'm scratching that itch over and over and over, eventually you're gonna go back to what you used to do.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
It's fucked, but it's the way it works.
You know, that's why you said that you don't ever want to touch alcohol again, because you know that it would take you down the path of wanting pills.
Yeah, alcohol wasn't my first love.
Right.
I mean, I guess it was, but
kind of.
I used it. Well, no, I used marijuana for the first time. I was 11 or 12 the first time I smoked weed.
That blows my mind, because that's the age of
and
a
I
child.
drank for the first time that summer. I was 12. But pills were like my thing, right? Like if I could have anything, it would have been like bottles and bottles and bottles of pills. Alcohol was just the way to make the pill stronger. And it was like one of life's greatest combos. It was like
chips and queso.
Chips and queso, man. It was just like that. It was the greatest.
My favorite.
It was, so alcohol, like when I went to treatment, like I'd never been like a cannot stop type of alcoholic unless I was high on pills. And then I just wanted to make the pills stronger. So I took more pills, drink more. And it just was kind of a byproduct, but just by itself, alcohol just wasn't enough for me. It wasn't strong enough. As crazy as that sounds.
So weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I just forgot what you were asking.
I was saying that if you were to touch it, you didn't want to go down that road because you knew that it would trigger the.
I know this about myself as soon as I make it okay for myself to get effed up in some way, I'm going back. It's a matter of time.
Right. It may not happen immediately, but you know that it's opening up that door.
And I know this because I've tried it before. And it's not like I'm just taking it on someone else's
before you
word.
went to treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were trying to, recover.
I tried this more times than I can count.
Yeah.
I tried to just not drink or to just not take pills and just drink like a normal person.
Right.
And I would get to a certain point, like, this isn't strong enough. I need a little more. Weed, same thing. Like, it didn't matter what it was for me. It always led me back. So I think that other things that you engage in, whether it's pornography addiction, sex addiction, whether you've got, I don't know, like what do people find what's that app people use? Tinder. I couldn't tip my tongue. Tinder. Like,
Yeah, we don't know those apps very well.
never had to use Tinder, thank God. So, but Tinder, like people get on Tinder, like get addicted to the process of like hooking up with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even so much the sex itself as it is like the chase of it all. And it's scratching that itch. And I've known a lot of people in recovery, totally sober, that have had massive problems with that, with hooking up with people, with treating people like just garbage.
Again,
like they're not even human.
Behaviors.
It's just
not
behavior.
the substance.
But what happens is they eventually go back. It's if
Right.
you leave it like that too long unattended and you're not being honest and you're not aware of it,
Yeah.
you'll go back, man. So like what I'm saying is like if you give yourself permission to scratch it, you're gonna fuck up at some point.
Right.
You're going back at some point.
Right.
Just a matter of time.
So that's one of the risks of it. And another risk is going to be like health issues. So if you were, let's say that you were an alcoholic and then you got treatment for that, but you became an overeater.
Food does this
then
too.
Food is going to cause you to have more health problems.
Yeah, I mean, your health is at risk. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at the effects of junk food, and I mean, it will kill
Sugar.
you. It will kill you as fast as damn
as
near
fast.
anything. Like
Right.
look at the, I think isn't heart disease still like the number one cause of death for
believe
people of
so.
a certain age, like that shouldn't
Yeah.
be dying of heart disease.
Right.
Like it's crazy. Cancers it causes and everything else. Yeah, like you can't scratch that itch.
No,
You
you're going
have to
from one
find a
coping
way-
mechanism to another.
You have
and
to
it's all
find
the
a way.
same.
You have to find a way to treat whatever's going on inside that makes you feel like you need something, that you don't have enough, that I've got to have some kind of stimulus. I need something, whatever it is.
Right. So this is why it's important to be in some type of recovery program or therapy or something to address the underlying issue so that you can figure out the coping mechanisms that you need so you don't go down this road forever.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about our experience with this. So first it was the drugs and alcohol, everything under the sun. That was like your addictions, right? And then you got into recovery and you became addicted to recovery, basically. So we've talked about this before, how you were selfish in recovery because you're told to be selfish, but you become addicted to it because it's like you have to scratch that itch, like you said. But also it's important to do that. Like we know that you have to go hard in it.
I find that a lot of people, when they're really invested in recovery early on, especially, it's a good thing. Like it sucks for the time being, but in my experience, it's been temporary for anyone I've ever worked with. It was temporary for me.
As long as it's temporary, right?
It's temporary.
Right,
like
right.
you get to a point where you find balance, but
Yes.
you got to go hard in the beginning.
Yeah, but you're rewiring your brain to take in all the knowledge and try to learn these new coping mechanisms. It's part of it. I totally understand it. But that's why if somebody is going all in, that's important to know that they're doing that. And it is part of their addictive personality as well.
Yeah.
And then you got addicted to candy and food.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the first year you gained about 70 pounds,
I did.
right?
Yep.
I remember when we tried to go on a diet, as soon as you got out of rehab, it was like when it was Advocare.
Oh, Advocare. I remember that.
So we were doing Spark, which was like that caffeine
Energy drink.
And oh my God, it was awful. You were not doing well at all. It was not a good idea. It was awful. It was like
way too early.
It was
to be trying
way
to get
too
on a
soon
diet.
trying to go on a diet. So you talked to your sponsor, and he was like, "No, bro, you need to eat some candy.
Just eat, dude.
Just eat right now. It's okay, and we'll address that. As time comes.
Right.
So you did, and then a year after that, you got into your exercise addiction.
Yep.
And you went ham. You went hard. And that's the time that it was still affecting us in our relationship and our marriage because you were spending so much time
There was always
doing
something
it.
pulling time from
There was
us.
always something. Always something. You were finding something. Now, these were better than drugs and alcohol, right? Like they were still better and you always found your way out of them. But I'm just trying to let people know this timeline and how this can happen in recovery. After that, you had a work addiction. You
Big
became
time.
very addicted to work. And it was to where you were even almost addicted to your phone to where you're like, I got to respond to these people. I have to talk to these people. I have to make sure I'm here. I'm blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, bro, again, you are taking your time away from your family because you're so consumed with that.
Wanting to please people.
Wanting to please
the
people.
esteem and the acclaim that comes with it. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think it benefited you in the long run because
I needed some work ethic.
You needed it. You needed that. Yeah, for sure. But again, I reeled you in a little bit. The next one was going to be your shoe addiction.
Yep.
You want to talk about that?
I'd always liked shoes. I always thought that like sneakers were really cool. They were dope. Like I always wanted to have them. We never had money though.
No, we
did
not have
it
money.
all on drugs.
Yeah.
So I got into sneakers and I started collecting sneakers, and not just like a little bit. Like I think at one time I had probably, I don't know, 200 pairs.
I have no idea.
Probably had like 200 pair of sneakers at one point, and then we're not talking like going to like Payless. Like no, like these are like collector's
Is
pairs.
Payless even around?
I don't know. Are they still?
I don't know. That's where we went for school.
That's where I used to get shoes as a kid
right.
too. Yeah. So anyway, I started collecting like rare shoes, and I still have way too many, and I went really, really hard in that world. I actually became an investor in a store.
Yeah.
And we were selling these things, and like I was really involved in that scene and that culture, and it was just cool. Like there was a reward in it of some kind, and it felt good to get them. And then you like wear them once, and then it's like meh. And then it's like, wow, it's just like the rest of this shit that I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah.
But I'm self-aware of it as it's going on. And I know that I've got to pull back. I bet you I've bought 2 pairs of shoes this year where I used
You have like really pulled back.
Yeah. Partly because I'm out of room in my closet. But
yes.
And
also it's like the money spent on that is kind of excessive.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know? And it's
Small
like
fortune.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you can sell them, which is great. But
yeah, I remember we
still.
went to SneakerCon one time with a ton of money, and I bought all kinds of stuff and then turned around and like flipped it for basically double.
Yeah.
If not more than that.
Yeah. And it's a fun game. I know you had fun with it.
It was fun.
But again, this is just one of those things that he would just collect and collect and collect. And it's like, you don't need all this. This is excessive.
It is an addictive personality.
Yeah, it is.
I have an addictive personality.
Right. And so I just got to a point where I just laughed about it in a way, because I'm like, I know this man. I know how he works. I know that I can reel him back in if I need to. I know that he's working on other things. Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm able to look at you for who you are and the things that you do. Now your addiction is nicotine gum, which is quite hilarious because I will find gum in random places in our home.
There's a piece over there on the shelf.
Is there any under the table?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't play that game, no.
You did at one point.
Yeah, I used to eat it off the tables.
Yeah, you did. It was so disgusting. Y'all, Matt used to have he used to get paid to eat crickets and weird shit at school. It was so funny.
Stupid.
Yeah, so stupid. But I'll just have to say that it probably leveled out within 7 years of your recovery.
7 years of bouncing around like a manic person, just going from one thing to another, just always super enthusiastic and super into it. And like, I wasn't just going to half-ass something. I was going to whole-ass it. You know, mountain biking was like this during COVID.
Oh yeah, that was another thing.
During COVID, because we were all at home. And I was like, well, I'm going to get a mountain bike. Well, if I'm going to mountain bike, like I'm going to do it right. And so like, you research what you're going to get, and like, it becomes this thing. It's scratching that part of my person, like that itch. It scratches that itch in my brain. And it's like, I got to have something.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect us negatively anymore.
I think I've finally found balance.
Yeah.
It took me long enough.
A long time. Yeah.
But I tell people as well, like everything that she's saying, like there's no way to avoid this in my opinion. Because I think that everything that we've just talked about had to happen in order for us to get to where we are right now.
Yes.
Every one of these things had to happen. So if you're with someone in early recovery, just hold on and try to enjoy it. Like,
yeah, but like,
I hope that they're self-aware enough to know when to reel it back in, but they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to learn this stuff. This is how you find balance in life, is you have to go from one extreme to the other.
Right. But like for you as a partner, or for me as a partner, somebody that's listening as a partner, it's really important for you to have a safe space for your partner, for y'all to communicate these things.
Was it a bubble? It was a bubble. That was like a bubble. It was
a bubble.
That was like that scene in Little Rascals where Darla, someone, I don't remember who puts the bubbles. Paige just gleeked, I think. And it was literally y'all like a freaking
full-on bubble. That was just floating in the air. I know, it was so cute.
I thought it was a piece of lint.
It was the cutest little bubble. I did too. And then I was like, oh,
that was a cool trick, man.
Okay. Anyway, create a safe space. Like, it's okay for you to communicate and talk about the things that, you feel they're going through or whatnot. Like, non-judgmental, listen to them actively, just kind of have a space for them. But also express your concern with, I statements. I feel worried when I see you struggling with this new habit. I feel worried about our finances when you spend so much money on this new habit. You have to have these conversations, and they may bump a little bit and fight you a little bit, because I'm sure, we went through that where you're like, no, I'm going to buy my shoes anyway. I don't really care what you say. But it's something that we have open conversations. You have those vulnerable conversations where you just allow that space to happen and understand that that's who they are, but don't let it go too far, because that's where your boundaries come into play.
Right. Shouldn't say always. Don't say always, Matt. I've done a pretty good job for the most part in recovery of listening to you. Like, I know that you have a much better idea of how to adult than I do. And I listen to you. I don't know about that. I listen to you. So if you're saying something, I'm listening. But you've also, in that same vein, like two thoughts at once, you've also allowed me the freedom to kind of like discover and express myself in whatever I was going through. So if it was like the fitness thing, like it's got to be a trip being married to me, like, or any recovering addict. It's like,
you are not boring. That's like, for sure.
You think you're off the roller coaster? No, you are not off the roller coaster yet, because there's so much more shit coming. Like, they're going to get involved in the most random shit, and they're going to come tell you about it. So excited. And I'm sure it's got to be kind of interesting in some ways from your perspective, because it's like, what are we into now?
I think it like I said, you're not boring, and it's interesting. It's whenever it starts to
just don't let it go too far.
Me.
Yeah.
And I know I say that all the time, but that's healthy. It's like, if something is happening that's impacting me, then I do have a right to say something.
Well, because you allow me autonomy. You allow me to be my own person.
Exactly.
But once it's affecting you, then it is.
Or our children.
It's gotten too bad.
It's gotten too far.
Usually.
Yeah.
But
same with me.
You'll let me, like, all right, if you want to do that, dude, like, go ride, do whatever you want on your bike, like, buy the shoes, like, whatever. But once it starts to become an issue, you're like, hang on, dude, like, big picture here, it's starting to affect other people, not just you.
Yeah.
But you've always allowed, like, if I was, I don't know, if I had some, and you did this with me, like with sneakers and stuff. Like, I was going to SneakerCon. I had a sneaker YouTube channel at one time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in it, I was online all the time.
I supported you.
I used to have a bot, and I would get online and like try to get stock, and I'd be up all night, and you supported me through it.
I did.
You supported me through it. But once it became an issue, it's like, yo, you have a family. You need to get out here. Like, let's go.
Let's just find balance. Like, that's what I feel like I've tried to do with our relationship and us in general, is just finding balance.
Yeah, you've always allowed me the space for that. You've never been like a hard ass about anything. Like, you've never just had like a vision for like, you just need to be this way.
No,
ever.
No, I like that you find new things to do, because then it gives me something to look into as well. Like, you got me into watching certain YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Like Mav.
Yeah, Mav's awesome.
Even though that's like that, I should have found Mav. That's like my brother from another mother. We're related somehow. But and also your car videos and stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, let's give this a shot. I will enjoy this, and you'd get really into it. And then I'm like, I don't really care anymore now. Like, but I let you do your thing, and I have my thing or whatever.
Fitness and exercise was another one that you got into as well.
Yeah, I did.
That was really important.
That took a long time for you to get me in there.
It did.
Okay, I take that back. I had to do it on my own. You inspired me, though, because you did it for so many years, and I was like, okay, now I'm ready. I had to deal with my mental health first before I could really, push myself to like you would push yourself.
Right. And people in recovery are oftentimes going to go the fitness route at some point.
Yes.
Man, fitness and the feel-good chemicals that come with hard exercise, they make you feel so good. Mm-hmm. So good. Like, many treatment centers have exercise facilities, and like, they encourage you, like, get in there and break a sweat. Like, you'll feel better. Like, the anxiety, like all the angst that you feel, sometimes your mind's just racing. A way to make that go away is just get fit, get a sweat, break a sweat, take care of your body. Eat better foods. Like, it's
a natural human.
They're going to go through it, but that's not the worst thing a family could be exposed to. Of course, it has a limit, though.
Right. Like, if you're working out for 3 to 4 hours a day and you're taking time away from your children that you need when you need to be involved, then that's a problem. That's a problem. You shouldn't be doing it for that long. Like, it's an hour and a half, maybe, or you find that balance,
or find a time when it's not affecting anyone else's time.
Exactly. Which is what you did. You did it in the morning.
Before the sun came up, I was doing it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes really late, I would do it. But yeah, I just had to find a way so it didn't affect everyone around me.
Poor Matt hasn't worked out in over a week.
It sucks.
Because he had another injection last Friday, and he can't work out for a week. He can't even lift Winnie Beans because she's 11 pounds. You can't lift over 10 pounds. Yeah. But you were kind of off today. And
I need that. I need that time.
we all do.
I think everyone does. Right?
Everybody needs that. And that's why we encourage it. Working out is a huge benefit. But like we said, if it goes too hard, time to pull back just a little bit.
Yeah, let's just say on any given day, there's 100 things that you have to handle mentally. And that's an emotion, that's a feeling, that's some kind of stressor or whatever it is. For me, exercise removes probably like 60 of those. 60 of the 100 are removed by exercise. And the last 40, it feels like cake dealing with it because there's just not much to deal with. Like I've all the other stuff is just gone.
You've
now.
released all of that.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Pent up energy too.
Basically, yeah. It's gone, man. It's got to go somewhere,
So
right?
you're able to cope and manage a lot easier.
Yeah, it's got to go somewhere. But cross addiction or transitional addiction is very, very common.
Yes.
People are going to go through it. It's not a matter of if, but when. If they ever get in sobriety, or even people who are in active addiction are going to have these manic type behaviors where they go from one area of interest to another one, and they don't just go and visit, they go all in.
Go hard.
They become citizens, like full-blown citizens of whatever, if it's fitness land or collector land, and sometimes some of the worst ones, it's like you're going to go really hard in the internet or pornography or whatever it is that someone finds relief in. And it's tricky. It's tricky. Like the ride's not over yet. It's a freaking journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey, and we've gotten through it. I think in large part because you've always allowed me my space to feel
Explore.
and be the person that I am.
Yeah.
Like you've never tried to limit who I could be in recovery. Now you definitely gave me a vision and an idea. It's like, this is the man that I see. And I wanted to be that man too. But I got to have some individual characteristics as well.
For sure.
So I'm going to have some weird quirks. I'm going to do my own shit.
Yep.
You've always let me do that. And you've always been really good at reminding me when it's getting a little too far. Like when dude, you need to pull back a little bit. You're always kind about it. And even if I get mad, and I say mad, just like,
like,
come on.
Yeah.
Butthurt about it. I always listen, So if you're someone like me who's listening to this show, just listen, hold space for them. They know better than you do. I promise you they do. Just just listen, just have some humility and just listen. If you've gone too far on something, too. Act like you don't know. We know.
Right.
We know.
You're giving out secrets, man.
Oh, we know. Man, like we want to act dumb and play dumb. We know.
Yeah, y'all
I
are
know.
not really dumb.
Well, I'm just going to see what I can get away with.
Exactly.
That's
that right there.
And you just push the line to find out where it is. That's what toddlers do, right?
Right. You're dealing with a child.
Dealing with the toddler.
For real.
With the beard, in most cases.
Yes.
If you're anything like me, anyway. There was something else I wanted to cover on this. Hang on a second. Let me grab this real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was, Noah Levine or Levine. I think it's Levine wrote the book Refuge Recovery. But he says that all forms of addiction are essentially a way to make life more pleasurable and less painful than it actually is. Mm-hmm. It's nothing more than an escape from reality. It's a way to cope. That's what addiction is.
Exactly.
It's a way to cope.
Right.
You can cope with anything. Really. I mean, really.
Yeah, you can.
You can cope with something really healthy. Mm-hmm. You can garden, but you could also take that to an extreme as well. Yeah. And you could become way too invested and be like the guy I know who's out in the yard, like trying to make his yard like a golf course. When it's 110 out, it's not going to grow, bro. But anyway, he doesn't listen. But we'll find something, right? We'll find something. If it's sugar, if it's sex or pornography, if it's gambling, if it's another substance that you think that you can manage, it's going to be something until you really get to the crux of it all. Underneath every bit of it is that, why do I have this feeling like I'm just running late all the time and I need to calm down? Like, why do I have this thing inside of me that just craves more, craves attention? Like a big part of recovery for me was just learning how to be bored. Yeah. It was so weird. I remember talking to a guy about this. I was like, I sat around the house and I felt so weird. He was like, that's called serenity, man. Like you're telling me that you didn't have anyone calling you that needed you. You didn't have anyone bugging you. You didn't have any bills due. And you were just sitting there. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're just not used to calm. You're just not used to boredom. Like just enjoy that, revel in that. That's a blessing, brother. And I was
For real.
Shit, I guess you're right. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to feel it. Because I'm so used to just needing some kind of a stimulus.
Something. Yes,
Need
exactly.
a stimulus of some kind because I'm uncomfortable, because I need to be comforted in some way, shape, or form. if that's what we're trying to do in recovery, we're trying to heal that piece. And there's a spiritual component to this too. Just for me, there was. We didn't really talk about it here, but I found that there's a lot of relief in that too.
Yeah.
Spirituality is whatever you want it to be for yourself. I don't care what that is, but if you can find something, find something. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, coming from a dude that was like an outspoken, hardcore atheist.
Right.
I say atheist. I had like a 1%, maybe, agnostic idea about it, but I consider myself a spiritual person today.
Yeah.
You know, and I found a lot of healing in that too. Like just a lot of peace. The dog's snoring. So I think it's time to go.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Well, I hope that you've gained something from this, understood a bit more about what you're up against if you're in early recovery, if you're with someone who's looking to get sober. The ride's not over yet. You're not done with us yet. Stick around because we've got plenty more stories to tell and things like this to walk you through because we've been there before. We've worked through it and we'll work you through it as well. So until next time, I am Matt.
I'm Paige.
And we'll see you.
Bye.